It is a jungle in here, and I've not been in the garden for about 4 days. It's been raining, I've been sick, and I've not attended to anything. So in today's video I'm going to show you my little jungle. So in the garden, I'm just going to show you everything that's overgrown, what we're going to be doing in the little homestead, and the changes that is happening in our beautiful summer garden that's now turned into an autumn garden, and will finally be turning into a winter garden in the next couple of weeks. I've just done a video on my loofahs, just harvest 2. That video will be coming out soon. Just want to show you all the loofahs growing on this vine, and that's not even the biggest ones. These are obviously the baby ones, but look at this one. Absolutely amazing. And the bees are still doing their job. They're probably trying to collect as much pollen as they can. And we also got a nice surprise this morning. We were just looking at all the baby loofahs growing, and then we just lifted this up, and that is goji berries. And I didn't even know they were still producing. And if you see over here, I've got my goji berry vine that we planted here, and it has just grown that way in the loofahs. Obviously the loofah vine will be gone by winter time. It'll be cleansed, and the goji berry bush will go to sleep and lose all its leaves, so we can do a nice clean up there. But what is happening in my little jungle here? I have moved my mother dragon fruit to the side. It finally, for the first time, has some sun, and I will be bringing the other dragon fruit pot here sometime today. It has my other varieties, and so this pot has the ruby red, the white Vietnamese, and the Thai purple. In my other pot I have the sugar dragon and the graffiti, and I will be putting my cypress dragon fruit in there too. The turmeric is starting to go brown, and as soon as this all dies back, I'll be able to harvest the turmeric as well as the ginger. And this is new to the homestead. It is a hanging bag that was gifted to me by Corin. I finally managed to hang it up on something and put some of my strawberry cuttings in there. It is all from this strawberry run here. So the strawberries obviously have runners, and they plant themselves in the ground, and then you are able to chop the runners off like I've done here. I've chopped all the runners off now because they are established. And that's what they do. They will keep on doing that, and then you, as soon as it's got beautiful healthy roots, you just take it out and you can pot it in anything you want actually. So I've put it in a hanging basket like that. The only thing with hanging baskets, especially directly in the sun, is it dries out. So just make sure you water it daily. And we've got the potatoes. The potatoes will go through winter, and probably in early spring or late winter we'll be able to see and harvest our potatoes. But everything in the garden is looking great. The lemon tree has totally taken off. You can see that the baby banana tree is starting to brown. It will have to go into a place where in the daytime it gets a lot of sun, and at night it is protected from the cold. So I'm thinking of putting some stakes in there, and then just wrapping it with frost cloth or even a plastic, so at night the heat is still maintained in there. We have some beautiful tomatoes that we can see over here that was gifted to me by the birds, as well as these tomatoes, and I think they are actually nearly ready. How gorgeous are they? They are absolutely amazing. We'll definitely be saving seeds because, well, got to do that. And in between there is some stuff that are starting to ripen. I see that we've got another Aji lemon chili here. This is my plant that is doing very well. In between we've got gooseberries that just pops up as well. In this bed is my winter crops. So I have some radish that I had planted out, and they're doing pretty well. They're all taken, as well as the carrots. They seem to be doing very, very well. This is a celery from a bought store. I just cut the bottoms off and repotted it in the raised beds. I'll show you one that I've done that is absolutely huge. And then this is my blue dazzling kale that I planted from seed. It's doing amazing. It was getting attacked, and now I see it's bounced back. So that's just what happens when you talk to your plants and give them love. Come to this side of the homestead, and as I say, it's a bit of a jungle here. I've just let the nasturtiums just go absolutely wild in this bed. Let the bees have some fun. But at the back here I've got my fennel, and I'm growing fennel not because I eat it, but because it is great for ladybugs. Ladybugs love to nest in fennel, and you want ladybugs in your garden. They will actually make their home in the fennel. They'll live there, and they will then go to your other plants for bugs and that, and they will actually maintain all the hojos in your garden. So that's a nice little garden trick. Even if you don't eat fennel, grow a fennel in maybe 2 parts of your garden, and that will attract all of your ladybugs. It's something I learned from a gardener, and I'm just waiting for the ladybugs to come in and discover it. So I will keep you guys updated on that. This bed is still empty, not done anything until I take all of my peppers and overwinter it. But here's that celery I was talking about. I grew the celery from a bought store cutting. It is absolutely amazing. I even took one, gave it a taste test. It tastes amazing, and you would never think that I just cut it and stuck it in the ground to regrow. I think I've got another one here. Yeah, there's another one there. And I've got another one there. Or bought store. I do have a tray full of seedlings with celery. That will just go all over the place because celery is amazing to have. Over here we've got the kale. So this kind of kale grows and grows, and it will grow as high as this fence. And these two had reached that point. I just cut it down, and you can see I've got new kale growing. So don't take your whole kale plant out, just cut it, and then eventually you'll see on the sides new leaves will start growing. Another tomato tree that's just appeared here. I don't know what variety this is. It probably is the same as these ones because it looks like the same bird just pops it everywhere. But you can see how it's just gone crazy here. It is a jungle. A tomato plant that's, I don't even know if it's 1 or 2 or a few plants, but just going crazy there, as well as a Cape gooseberry that I didn't plant, going crazy here. I do have some gooseberries on it, so free snacks for me. My comfrey I've just let go crazy. You can see all the Cape gooseberries just growing there. I've got my beans growing. They are taking off very nicely, and that's what it's supposed to do. Trelly up my trelly, and I do have some peas on this one that I can harvest soon. The mint is still doing fantastic here, as well as the rosemary. Rosemary will not go dormant. They literally will stop giving me growth, but all of this is new growth. And then when spring or summer hits, I can just give it a trim, use all of the tops, and let this all regrow. Very, very healthy bush. All of this is cuttings from this plant, except this one's a different variety. You can see the difference. This one is like more open, where this one is all more together and bushy. So two different varieties, and these three plants come off of this mother plant. And I've got some other rosemaries just growing around the garden. Rosemary is really good. Also, it attracts a lot of certain insects you need in your garden, and also repels a lot of insects that you don't want in your garden. So depending on what crops you grow. My rose vine is growing like crazy. Look, it just keeps on growing. And next season, it is just going to open with all these beautiful white pink roses. That will be the second year it will be on the trellis. Check, the banana tree is doing amazing. And comment below and tell me, do I cut that piece off? Because I've heard you take that piece off and then I must just put like a bag over it. I'm going to do it today, but I'm not sure about that bottom piece. It hasn't opened or anything, so let's see what happens. But comment below for future reference. And then this bed is actually looking pretty nice. We've got another well, I don't know if it's random or from the previous tomatoes that I had in this bed that's just grown, because this was a tomato bed. But there's a few tomatoes that's still bearing flowers that will give me some more tomatoes. That's awesome. And we've got some peppers in here. Peppers will all be overwintered. Here I've got some kohlrabi, and I put some more of the carrots in this bed. They seem to have taken very nicely and very happy in this bed. I have a bean that I just need to clip nicely on here. But this is the purple kohlrabi. You can see that it's starting to fatten up there, and that is the actual kohlrabi portion that will start bulking. And then I got another kohlrabi that's taken off nicely there, and another one there. Got a few in my seedling tray. This bed is coming to an end as well. It's got the zucchini. I've just harvested a beautiful big zucchini off of this plant and made some mince in it, and that came out very nicely. And these two have rotten off there, so I'm not sure if it's time to take that off. But in this bed we've got all the brinjals. They've stopped flowering. I've got one more flower there, but the actual brinjals are not producing any more brinjals. So I've been told you can overwinter brinjals. I might take 2 of the brinjals and overwinter them. The others are going into the compost bin. And then this bed will be empty for some more winter crops. This bed is also empty. It had the tomatoes in it, and yeah, I'm going to have to see what I'm going to put in here. Maybe a whole bunch of kale and spinach. And then the very first trees to go dormant is the pomegranate. Over here we have some more peppers, and I can see some of them are starting to ripen nicely. You got the cayenne and paprika. You got 2 jalapenos here. We've got a new Melanto pepper here, all mild peppers, all beautiful. And then over there I've got my Achi lemon, the gold mine, the winning star of the show. And then yeah, it's a big jungle in this bed, a huge jungle. So I didn't actually realize how big the lavenders were going to grow, and so the lavenders will have to come out and maybe go into pots. But I'm thinking of bringing the smaller lavender, it's a different variety, bring that one into this bed and put one of the big lavenders in that bed, because that is purely for plants and flowers. Then maybe put the other lavender in another container at the bottom. This is to make the garden smell nice and also to protect the garden, because it's a beautiful fragrance which some pests do not like, but most of all it's for the bees. And that is why I've let my bok choy seed up. You can see all these yellow flowers are actually from the bok choy, and I'll be able to also get some more seeds from it, as well as just let the bees do their thing. And this bed was purely supposed to be for herbs, as well as this bed, which there is a whole bunch of herbs in here, but there is also this pepper dew plant that I need to take out. So when I overwinter it and put it back in the ground, it will be going into another raised bed, and this will purely be all my herbs in that. So at the moment these are mostly cuttings, and yeah, we've got a rosemary bush, we've got thyme, lemon thyme, oregano, creeping oregano. There's just so much. At the back there we've got our Vietnamese coriander, and we've got our grapevine. So the grapevine stays in this raised bed, and we just have to do a bit of a clean, because as I say, it's a jungle out here, and maintain the vines. So I've been told to obviously keep the main vines and cut all the off vines on the main vines, so I'll be doing that. So much to be done. As you can see, the garden is changing and it is a jungle. It is overgrown. It is needing a good prune and resetting. So stay tuned, because the next video is of the garden getting reset for winter crops. And yeah, the garden is going to look a little bit different. Comment below and tell me, have you started making changes in your garden? If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe. Remember, we're here to learn together as we grow together, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video.